I'm Ingrid Fromm. I am a research associate at the Bern University of Applied Sciences, School of Agricultural, Forest and Food Sciences. And I am going to talk a little bit about the experience we've had in research and collaboration with, with another university in Ghana. This was a project that was funded by the Rectors Conference of the Swiss Universities of Applied Sciences. And it was funded actually by the research partnership between Swiss Universities of Applied Sciences and developing and transition countries. So we received funding for a project in Ghana. In this project, we conducted together with the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. And our project focused on the adoption of sustainable production methods and certifications among cocoa farmers in the Ashanti region of Ghana. So this was a one-year research project, and our results we were able to collect already by 2013, and we have been able to also publish the results last year in a scientific journal. But I want to talk a little bit about the experience and the principles that I find that were very important for this research project. Well, one of these principles that I find that is extremely important is actually the first principle, which is to set the agenda together. In our specific case, we thought that it was very important for the success of the project that we had an exchange, a face-to-face exchange between the principal investigators. So for this purpose, we asked our partner in Ghana, Dr. Robert Aido, to come to Switzerland for a one-week planning meeting. In this planning meeting, we really discussed in depth who will do what. We talked about the expected outcomes of our project. We really went into the details of what the project, what the outcome was going to be, and what were the steps that we needed to take in order to get to this outcome. I find it extremely important to have this first contact, and I would highlight that it's important to have a face-to-face exchange if possible in order to set the agenda together. If you set the agenda together, it's more likely that you're going to come to a better understanding of the roles and responsibilities, and it's really going to guarantee or be one guarantee for the success of the research project. And this, of course, brings me to the next principle, which is to clarify the responsibilities. During this exchange that we had with the principal investigator from Ghana, it was very important for us to clarify the roles, the duties, apart from the terms of reference, looking into the details and making sure that there was a mutual agreement between both parties. Of course, there were other researchers involved. From our side, there was a student who, as part of her thesis, her master's thesis, she would travel to Ghana, and it was also important for us to involve her in this whole process. From the Ghanaian side, there were other junior investigators who were involved. So it's important to clarify who takes the responsibility for what. The timelines, it's also important to discuss when you're going to reach determined steps in the research project. So clarifying the responsibilities not only involves roles and duties, but also looking into the finer details of the research project and the other parties that are involved and what each person is going to do. During the whole process, I found that an open exchange, a continuous exchange, was a very fruitful thing, and we're very happy that we had this open line of communication. As a guide discusses another very important principle, principle 5 actually, is to promote mutual learning. The promotion of mutual learning happens when you have an open exchange and a continuous exchange. Luckily, in our research project, the investigators in Ghana, as well as the researchers from the Bern University of Applied Sciences, were very used to working in an environment with open communication. So this was not such a big challenge for us. From the Ghanaian side, we also felt that they were in the position also to answer our emails as soon as possible, set up Skype conferences when something was maybe not going as planned. So open exchange is also one of these things that is extremely important and critical for the success of research projects. Coming back to the promotion or to mutual learning and the promotion of mutual learning, I think that as a researcher based in Switzerland, we need to maybe move a little bit away from micromanaging. We of course had the responsibility for the main budget of the project, moving away from micromanaging the little things in terms of budget. We did this because we also want to build a trust relationship, and by letting go of the technicalities of the little specifics of budget, for instance, we were able to build this mutual trust, which is of course something very helpful in mutual learning and communication. Well, the other thing that I want to address is also the exchange, the physical exchange, by having the researcher come here and myself and my colleague also going to Ghana for the purpose of the project. We were able to strengthen this mutual learning when we had our colleague come to Switzerland. The project that we were involved in was a project with cocoa farmers. So it's very important for our colleagues in Ghana to come to Switzerland, to visit the retailers, to visit the industry, to have an idea of what the consumption of chocolate is really like. We were able to see and really witness what consumers want, or what the perception of consumers is in terms of certifications, in terms of sustainable production. So it really opens our minds when we come back to Ghana and we're talking to farmers. In our case, going to Ghana and really looking and trying to understand what are those limitations from the production side, to understand the farmer and to understand why he or she might not be in a situation of adopting sustainable production practices, is an eye-opening experience, because we're very much used to looking at labels and certifications. When we buy a bar of chocolate, it's common to see certifications such as UTZ certified or fair trade certification, but really the process that the farmers have to engage in order to guarantee these certifications is actually very difficult. So I think it was a very good experience of mutual learning. And of course, this mutual learning, the ideas, we kept exchanging with our colleagues. So we have really a very good vision of the cocoa and chocolate industry. And this was very helpful in the results of the project, because we're able to, when we get the data, we're able to understand a little bit deeper, a little bit beyond the numbers that we get or the statistical analysis that we get. So finally, this brings me to the principle number 6, which is to enhance capacities. Again, I mentioned that North-South partnerships should really not be a one-way transfer of knowledge. in the whole process, again, stressing the exchange of ideas, the exchange of knowledge, the mutual learning, we're able to enhance our capacities. And we strengthen these capacities through mutual learning, through open communication. I really feel that from the Ghanaian side, the exchange, the visit from the researchers here to our institution in Switzerland was also a good experience. And my colleague is actually able to take some of the things that he saw, some of the ideas that he was able to gather here in Switzerland back to Ghana and implement this in his teaching, for instance, in his research work that he conducts. On the other hand, I work in the group of international agriculture, so any experience that we have in the developing context really enriches our teaching and our exchange with students. We tend to bring back these experiences and also discuss and incorporate all this richness of information that we bring back from different countries for the students of international agriculture. So this is also enhancing our own capacity. So in the end, I really find that research partnerships between the Swiss universities of applied sciences, developing and transition countries is actually a win-win situation for all.